everybody. All praise be to the Most High God. The Most High God comes first. This stream is brought to you by L.I.V.E products. L.I.V.E. Live now, we're live now. If you live in the Trinidad and Tobago area, you can get these drinks, punches, as well as nuts and granola, fresh and salted from us. L.I.V.E. Live now. We're live now. Okay. So we know that, first of all, Man of Steel had a 218% rise in viewership on HBO Max after Superman came out. People started to look at other Superman films. Tyra Magna said, there are three factors involved. Superman being in the forefront as a topic, people started looking at more Superman films because I think 300 and something percent increase in Superman 1978 as well on HBO Max. So those two movies, people started looking at them again. And in addition to that, Tyra Magna says there's a group of people who love James Gunn stuff. And so after they watched Superman, they went and watched Peacemaker, right? The season 1. So there was an increase in viewership in Peacemaker by 98%, I think. So anyway, some of the Gunnites, they went and watched Peacemaker. But then there's another group of people, the third group, which didn't like Superman at all. And they needed a palate cleanse. And so they went back and watched Man of Steel or Superman 1978. All right? They're not necessarily Snyder fans. They may have been just fans of Superman and they just needed to see something better. And Tyra Magna said he was the latter. Well, check this out. Now, this is from a Snyder fan, so take it with a pinch of salt. But Ben Affleck's The Batman. You can only pick one Superman movie to watch for the rest of your life. Which one are you picking? Is it Man of Steel or Superman 2025? And this is what they said. You got a bunch of Man of Steels. See, Man of Steel, 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 Man of Steel. Here's somebody who did not pick Man of Steel. 1887. Let me see if it's a real account. It says it's a blue checked account, so I guess it's a real account. I'm picking the one that I had the most fun and enjoyment watching and reminded me most of Superman. And that's Superman. Both films are good in their own right, but I just prefer Superman and have way less problems with that movie. Prefer the overall universe more. Man of Steel, Man of Steel, Man of Steel. A lot of people have picked Man of Steel. It's just overwhelming, right? But this is a Snyder, of course, it's a Snyder fan post, so there's a lot of Snyder fans there. The Terminator says, definitely not picking the goofy, cheap-ass Marvel ripoff, clearly being ignored in the international box office. Yep. We got Man of Steel, the one I've already watched for my whole life, the daddy. Superman 1978. So he likes Superman 1978. So there's a whole bunch of Man of Steel people. And this is not the first person to do this. I'll show you more, okay? Maximus Decimus Wolfenstein, he says, it's time for Universal Pictures to right the wrongs from Warner Brothers Discovery now. Sell Snyderverse to Universal, restore the Snyderverse, bring back Zack Snyder, bring back Ben Affleck, make the Batfleck movie, make Justice League 2, finish the story. The time is now, not moving on. Universal picks, WBD. Yeah, of course, Universal as a studio would be the best place to do this movie, all right? No cap. Serious talk. It would be the best option. But from all appearances, Zaslav and company want to go the direction of Disney. Whether they're selling off Warner Brothers to Disney or they're trying to imitate Disney, it seems that's the direction they want to go. It looks like Jeff Johns was trying to do that for the longest while as well. I think the window is passed, though. If Fantastic Four does well, I'm not sure if we're going to get a DC Marvel crossover. Me personally, I think Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool, is the window through which we're going to do a Marvel DC crossover. Using Zack Snyder's direction. Okay? People have been telling us to move on. That Snyderverse is dead. Excuse me, I am eating nuts. Those same people won't leave us alone when we post what we post. You come on our feed. I want to know, why are you not busy promoting the Superman movie? Why are you so busy trying to extinguish the start of Snyderverse? That's where they extinguish the start of Snyderverse. Is to not promote what we're doing, promote the Superman movie. We're not going to come on your site and say anything to you. We stay in our lane. And we will promote and continue to promote the start of Snyderverse, no matter what. That's not going to change. And you can't quiet us. Keyshawn says, I absolutely love these movies, and I want to see more of the story. Okay, I need to stop chewing. This must be annoying as hell. Okay. Bat Square says, I'm still at it. Restore the Snyderverse. Well, here I am. Thanks for the inspiration, Leaping Geeks and Costello's Way Batfleck movie. Restore the Snyderverse. He's at the site of advertising for a Superman movie, and he's put up his sign saying, Restore the Snyderverse. Just show some quick pics of him here. From behind. I love it.
What is Superman's middle name?
Danger.
Justin.
Justin. W.
Is it?
I gave that one to you because I didn't want to have to answer it. Does Clark Kent have a middle name? I'm embarrassed that I don't know. He does?
Yes.
What is
What's
it?
his middle name? Joseph. I was so close.
Joseph. His middle Clark Kent. Oh, what you just asked that. Clark Joseph Kent is his middle name.
I was trying to take the win for the edit.
Yeah.
What is Superman's middle name?
Danger.
Justin.
Justin. W.
Is it?
I gave that one to you because I didn't want to have to answer it. Does Clark Kent have a middle name? I'm embarrassed that I don't know. He does?
Yes.
What is
What's
it?
his middle name? Joseph. I was so close.
Joseph. His middle Clark Kent. Oh, what you just asked that. Clark Joseph Kent is his middle name.
I was trying to take the win for the edit.
Yeah.
What is Superman's middle name?
Danger.
Justin.
Justin. W.
Is it?
I gave that one to you because I didn't want to have to answer it. Does Clark Kent have a middle name? I'm embarrassed that I don't know. He does?
Yes.
What is
What's
it?
his middle name? Joseph. I was so close.
Joseph. His middle Clark Kent. Oh, what you just asked that. Clark Joseph Kent is his middle name.
I was trying to take the win for the edit.
Yeah.
What is Superman's middle name?
Danger.
Justin.
Justin. W.
Is it?
I gave that one to you because I didn't want to have to answer it. Does Clark Kent have a middle name? I'm embarrassed that I don't know. He does?
Yes.
What is
What's
it?
his middle name? Joseph. I was so close.
Joseph. His middle Clark Kent. Oh, what you just asked that. Clark Joseph Kent is his middle name.
I was trying to take the win for the edit.
Yeah.
What is Superman's middle name?
Danger.
Justin.
Justin. W.
Is it?
I gave that one to you because I didn't want to have to answer it. Does Clark Kent have a middle name? I'm embarrassed that I don't know. He does?
Yes.
What is
What's
it?
his middle name? Joseph. I was so close.
Joseph. His middle Clark Kent. Oh, what you just asked that. Clark Joseph Kent is his middle name.
I was trying to take the win for the edit.
Yeah.
What is Superman's middle name?
Danger.
Justin.
Justin. W.
Is it?
I gave that one to you because I didn't want to have to answer it. Does Clark Kent have a middle name? I'm embarrassed that I don't know. He does?
Yes.
What is
What's
it?
his middle name? Joseph. I was so close.
Joseph. His middle Clark Kent. Oh, what you just asked that. Clark Joseph Kent is his middle name.
I was trying to take the win for the edit.
Yeah.
What is Superman's middle name?
Danger.
Justin.
Justin. W.
Is it?
I gave that one to you because I didn't want to have to answer it. Does Clark Kent have a middle name? I'm embarrassed that I don't know. He does?
Yes.
What is
What's
it?
his middle name? Joseph. I was so close.
Joseph. His middle Clark Kent. Oh, what you just asked that. Clark Joseph Kent is his middle name.
I was trying to take the win for the edit.
Yeah.
What is Superman's middle name?
Danger.
Justin.
Justin. W.
Is it?
I gave that one to you because I didn't want to have to answer it. Does Clark Kent have a middle name? I'm embarrassed that I don't know. He does?
Yes.
What is
What's
it?
his middle name? Joseph. I was so close.
Joseph. His middle Clark Kent. Oh, what you just asked that. Clark Joseph Kent is his middle name.
I was trying to take the win for the edit.
Yeah.
What is Superman's middle name?
Danger.
Justin.
Justin. W.
Is it?
I gave that one to you because I didn't want to have to answer it. Does Clark Kent have a middle name? I'm embarrassed that I don't know. He does?
He does?
What is
What's
it?
his middle name? Joseph. I was so close.
Joseph. His middle Clark Kent. Oh, what you just asked that. Joseph Kent is his middle name.
I was trying to take the win for the edit.
Yeah.
What is Superman's middle name?
Danger.
Justin.
Justin. W.
Is it?
I gave that one to you because I didn't want to have to answer it. Does Clark Kent have a middle name? I'm embarrassed that I don't know. He does?
He does?
What is
What's
it?
his middle name? Joseph. I was so close.
Joseph. His middle Clark Kent. Oh, what you just asked that. Joseph Kent is his middle name.
I was trying to take the win for the edit.
Yeah.
What?
My Time to Shine Hello said, which one is better? Superman or Man of Steel? It's a Citron. Watching Man of Steel. Said Man of Steel. In BVS, Richard Citron was the Batman. Ben Affleck's stunt double. Okay. Sickness just broke down in the opening weekend. How much tickets Man of Steel sold? Man of Steel sold over 14 million tickets. Superman didn't sell more than that. So it hasn't performed better. Less people showed up. It's just the higher cost of tickets that is carrying the weight for it. Okay? So it barely sold half the amount of tickets out of Man of Steel on opening weekend. It sold 7.7 million tickets during its opening weekend. So Man of Steel blew it away. It was almost twice as almost twice the amount of revenue as Superman. Okay? And why is that important? People who talk about Man of Steel is dark and outworldly and all this shit. They're a minority. All the heavy production and promotion of a Superman movie only to produce half the amount of ticket sales a 12-year-old movie did. And, mind you, we're not done there.
What is Superman's middle name?
Danger.
My Time to Shine Hello, who's not a Snyder fan, it's Grace Randall. Asks which movie was better, Superman or Man of Steel? I mean, resoundingly, people in the comments, not even Snyder fans, resoundingly at Man of Steel. Man of Steel dominated the comments. So, I remember when they said, first you see a movie, Man of Steel needs to break $1 billion. I'll never forget that. The same thing for BVS. Now these hypocrites are saying Superman doesn't even need to break even. The problem with Superman is I have a big budget. And so with such a massive budget and a heavy advertising push, cost in the movie is a lot. We have to make either $735 million or above just to break even. This is an exceedingly tall ask. Given today is the last day they have to push before Fantastic Four sees fit cinemas. Drastically reduces the returns for Superman. I mean, overwhelming response was Man of Steel. Now, why are we talking about box office? Well, that's the bottom line with studios. That's how they make their money. You and a select few people like say the critics, you may like the movie for whatever reason. But the majority of people outside your influence don't. This is what you get. Superman Suicide Squad, a box office bombs. How many strikes does Gun get? It's not a bomb yet. At the end of this third week, we'll know. What's going on with James Gunn's Superman? Because Fantastic Four is due to come out tomorrow. Yeah. Release the Snyder Cut says, you know how you can tell Man of Steel is the greatest Superman movie of all time? Nobody's comparing Superman 2025 with Superman the movie. It hasn't even entered the conversation from lovers or haters alike. Man of Steel is now the standard bearer. The thing is, Superman is iconic. So, what James Gunn tried to do with Superman is not what happened. You know? Some of it is because the movie was too short. Chopped up very badly. The Guns, who hang on every word that James Gunn says, more like a cult, and the so-called Snyder cult. They said David S. Goyer praised Superman 2025. Good for him. Just because he praises it doesn't mean we will praise it. That's where a lot of people don't get it. Superman has decades and decades of history. Oh, there are many different iterations of Superman. So, it's about telling a story. And many different people do. This word is thrown around too much. A lot of people thought Man of Steel a masterpiece. It's good. I give you that. I don't know about masterpiece, but it's good. It's a much better movie than Superman 2025. And you ask me, Hanson, how do you know that? Well, Suicide Squad 2016 was a better movie than the Suicide Squad. Guns end up following up on other directors' foundation work. And he's going to realize DC's not Marvel. But Particularly, you can't get away with bullshitting DC fans. Can't. You can't bullshit them. It's not gonna fly. So, Superman 2025 crossed $400 million. I think it was 407 million. Right? And Man of Steel at the same time, at the end of the second weekend, had 468 million. This is because its international box office, even though it made 210 million domestically, whereas Superman made 235 million domestically, internationally, it made 258 million, which internationally Superman underperformed versus Man of Steel internationally. It made, I think, 171 million or something like that. That's underperformance. That's why its box office is much less than Man of Steel. Okay? For the overall box office, which is the most important thing. It's not just domestic. It's overall. So they said, Superman outperformed domestically. Yeah, but internationally, I mean, it was stumping all, and this is not with inflation. It was stumping all over Superman. So James Gunn's movie is inferior to Man of Steel in every single way you could think of. It's inferior. So you have to ask yourself this question. You have to ask yourself the question, how is it that an inferior movie like this is being gobbled up by certain Americans? Well, the baby boomers, the fans who like bright, shiny colors, some Marvel fans, a sprinkle here or there, mostly guns. They're the ones supporting this movie, trying to hold it up. But Fantastic Four is on our doorstep. I don't know how good Fantastic Four is. I'm not looking forward to it. I'm not going to go watch it. So you can forget about that. But what I can tell you is, regardless, Fantastic Four is probably going to put a big dent in everything. Justice League 2017. Justice League 2017 earned $481 million worldwide in its second weekend. And that movie turned out to be a flop. You know why? Because it was a $300 million movie. It cost $300 million. Now, Warner Bros. Is not admitting that Superman is also a $300 million film, just like The Flash. By the way, The Flash was not reported to be a $300 million film. That's interesting by Warner Bros. Again, they had I think it was 250 or something like that. The Flash flopped, and they took the guy who did the cinematography for The Flash and they used it for Superman. I'm going to tell you right now that they say, Superman looks comic booky. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. James Gunn was borrowing an idea from Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four also has a sort of modern but still retro look. And I bet you Fantastic Four is going to outperform Superman by miles because Fantastic Four is actually going to do whatever they're going to do properly, as you will see. So I'm going to check out Jurassic World Rebirth and see where its box office is, because we're in the middle of the week right now. Because I thought the highest performing film this year would be Jurassic World. Still sitting at 652 million, according to this, but Box Office Mojo is probably where I need to go for this. There we are. Jurassic World Rebirth. Sitting at $652,549,000. So Jurassic World Rebirth. What week are we going into now? Domestic weekend number 3. And it hasn't really accumulated much more, which is very interesting. So 3 weekends in, Jurassic World Rebirth is only at domestically 276 million. This is less than Man of Steel, by the way, people. These numbers are less than Man of Steel. So we'll see how that goes. Man of Steel pulled in $670 million. But Jurassic World Rebirth, if I'm not mistaken, it didn't cost a whole lot of money. At least they're reporting it didn't cost a lot of money. I don't know how. They said it cost 180 million. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But it's been making profit, you know? It's been making profit. It's doing good. These movies make money quickly, and then after that, they bottom out. So I think even the Superman movie is going to make a whole set of money up top. It's kind of front loaded and just creep from there on in. We'll see how Jurassic World finishes up in the end. So Aaron Fisher says Superman and the Suicide Squad are box office bombs. Yeah, because again, Superman has to make let's say we're going to do it like a sort of average. It needs to make like 735 million on average. We're looking at between 563 million to 814 million to break even. It depends on how much they actually spent. Right? They would have gotten back some money on sponsorships and stuff like that. But so you know, I wouldn't say it's probably 814 million, but more like 700 and something they need to make. Will they even make that? I don't know. We'll have to see. Jurassic World's kind of bottom out. It's at 652. That's less than Man of Steel. And all the Jurassic World movies, I think they all made over $1 billion. This one doesn't look like it may get there. Because it's in week 3. Week 3 is like, you made a certain amount of money in week 3. You're not going to make, you may make an extra 100 million. You know, you may make an extra 100 million. But they're right. Jurassic World is not going to make $1 billion, it looks like. Which is very interesting. But they say it wasn't a very good movie, so maybe that's it. Superman is not going to make Jurassic World figures. Whatever Jurassic World ends up making, Superman's not going to make that. But what we do know is, if Superman opened to a bigger opening, I think we would have done a lot better. All right? But it didn't open to a big enough opening. It actually opened, if you just include Friday to Saturday, $101 million. So it didn't open spectacularly. And we're going to see how far it will hold and what will happen after Fantastic Four, because that's going to be the thing. But that's not the point I'm making. The point I'm making is Fantastic Four and Jurassic World, I think they're going to make more than Superman by far. I've not been. I was kind of sort of interested in Jurassic World. Glad I didn't go see it. Movies in the cinema these days are disappointing. I thought Smurfs was going to be a good movie. It turned out it was woke, and more than what you expect from a movie. They kind of did a Care Bears kind of thing. Smurfs suddenly turning into superheroes. Smurfs weren't superheroes. Smurfs were like Tom and Jerry. Gargamel was like Tom, and the Smurfs were like Jerry, and they outsmarted Gargamel. That's how Smurf movies, Smurf shows, TV shows, and stuff were. I guess they've changed it up, and now they put lore into it and all kinds of crazy things. So I could see why people didn't go to see Smurfs. Okay. Don't get me wrong. Some aspects of it was funny, but it really didn't stick the landing. With Fantastic Four, I don't know what to make of it. I don't know. It's not something that appeals to me. It'll probably appeal to other people. So far, the summer has been disappointing. No real good movies that really grip your attention. Most of these movies are forgettable. So it is what it is. That's probably why I don't go to cinema very often these days. Yeah, Aaron Fisher's right. Superman's probably going to flop because it doesn't have the steam of Jurassic World, and it doesn't seem to have the steam also of Man of Steel or even Justice League 2017. It doesn't seem to have enough oomph to carry it all the way to where it needs to go, particularly because of the international box office. The international box office is definitely a negative there. So for the Snyder fans who've been saying, well, it's closed, internationally, you guys are being listened to. And don't get me wrong, people are also listening. You're also carrying some of the weight of this movie, because if Snyder fans were supporting this Superman movie, for example, this movie would make over $1 billion for sure. It's going to probably limp its way to close to 500 million without Snyder fan support. And again, Snyder fans make a big difference in box office. They do. Black Adam could have also done much better, but again, you're going to limp to the finish line because, again, there were no Snyder fans there. Black Adam made like 300 and something million. It probably could have made 700 something to 800 and something million, because Snyder fans account for $500 million worth of box office, probably more now because of inflation. So the fact that these movies keep on crawling, they're not really, David Zaslav and WBD, they're celebrating, and they're high-fiving themselves because they feel like they use the same formula, but they got a different result. And the result's significantly better than all the flops that they got recently. But it's not great numbers. These are not great numbers, right? In fact, they're worse numbers than Man of Steel. They're worse numbers than Justice League 2017. So they haven't done anything except they're saying, well, the ship's still going to sink, but it's sinking slower, and Superman's supposed to be like their marquee thing, and they get a guy who does D-list directors to do Superman. Should never have done that. But Toby Emmerich and Jeff Johns and Joss Whedon, they wanted that. By the way, it looks like James Gunn is pulling in Joss Whedon and Jeff Johns. It's almost like the evil alliance. Like all the people that have been digging out and destroying DC, we got this filth and scum coming back out of the woodworks from the shadows to come and shape and mold DC in the image that's disgusting and just not cool. Like, because the heroes are being treated like shit and parodies and disgraced. Supergirl's never been drunk. We've seen a drunken Supergirl depicted on the big screen. We've never seen a weak Superman like this depicted on the big screen that needs help from everybody. Instead of saving people, he's the one that needs to be saved, And then they say he's the strongest hero of all heroes, but he's not. We read it, but we didn't see it, So I say this to say that DC's pretty much dead right now. They're trying to revive it with all the hype and every single tool they have in their tool bag. They're trying, but the hype has died down a long time ago. And even the guns, they come around, just like those crazy monkeys in the Superman movie. They come like rabid, haters, and they curse people and they tell people fuck off and all kinds of crazy things. No substance whatsoever. They try to make an argument, they always lose their arguments. So they're very vicious people, and they come trying to viciously bully people into not saying negative things about the movie. But what happens is the pushback is epic because you have a lot of DC fans who are not satisfied with this movie. They think this movie is shit, really, super shit. The movie was right. The movie is super shit, So there is that's going on, and it seems like a continuation of the same bullshit that we've seen with just a different face as the face of it. But it's the same continuation of what we saw with Justice League 2017, Birds of Prey, Wonder Woman 84, The Suicide Squad, Black Adam, Shazam 2, Shazam even 1. But Shazam 2 is more outlandish than Shazam 1. So Shazam 1 paid reverence to the DC characters. Shazam 2 disrespected Wonder Woman, disrespected the Wizard, disrespected, the characters. And then again, the other thing about these movies, by the way, let me just mention the other flops. We had The Flash that flopped, and then we had Blue Beetle that flopped, and then we had Aquaman 2 that flopped. And James Wan created a much more successful Aquaman. But again, the difference between Aquaman 2 and Aquaman. Let's look at the box office for Aquaman 2 and for Aquaman. I'm going to show you something. I love showing people things. Let me show you something. Remember, the cast is more or less the same. Aquaman 2 made 1.1 or almost $1.2 billion. Its budget was $160 to $200 million, right? It made 1.1 or $1.2 billion. Now, Aquaman 2. Aquaman 2 had a higher budget. It made $439.4 million. That means that almost $800 million came from somewhere. Aquaman would have made somewhere around $400-500 million had it not been for Snyder fans. I argue Snyder fans make the difference between a movie's success and a movie's failure. Snyder fans. I'm going to show you another thing because I got so much to show you. We made a huge difference in these movies. And when we don't show up, you lose $800 million. You lose $500 million. I'll show you some more stuff. Wonder Woman. Okay. Wonder Woman 2017. $824 million that movie made. $824 million. That's big money. Wonder Woman 1984. $170 million. So the Snyder fans contributed $600 and something million to that film. Because Snyder fans not going to go watch that shit, not Wonder Woman 1984. Bear with me. Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad did $749 million. $749 million. The Suicide Squad did $169 million. So you're telling me that $600 million plus dollars, Snyder fans once again contributed to that kind of film. What made David Ayer's Studio Squad, which is really they messed up the man's film, but what made it successful was the Snyder fans that kept on watching it. Whereas James Gunn, not only is it COVID, but also it is no Snyder fan is actually watching James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. They get turned off of it. And that's what you get. This Superman movie here, if it had Snyder fan support, would break $1 billion. That goes without saying. You throw on an extra $800 million on top of whatever this film actually makes, and you'll know exactly how much this film will make. So, I got one more. I got one more for you. The Batman movie. The Batman movie made, if I'm not mistaken, $700 and something million. There was a split in the Snyder fandom. Some Snyder fans went and they supported Black Adam, and they also supported the Batman. Okay? But if there was full Snyder support for the Batman, it wouldn't make $700 and something million. Oh, hell no. It would have crossed $1 billion. Because Snyder fans make a huge difference in box office. When they said wallets closed, this movie could have opened to over 500 million worldwide and possibly 200 and something million domestic. The Superman movie here. If Snyder fans had been on board with this movie, how somehow James Gunn got Snyder fans to be happy and satisfied with what they were seeing on the screen. If he paid homage to Man of Steel, if he did it right, like, Brightburn sort of did it kind of right. Well, if he had done something to the effect, the flip side of Brightburn, and continued Superman's story, keeping Superman's integrity and everything, and Snyder fans were on board with that, but like, you know what, James Gunn's making a good movie. And if he didn't target Snyder fans and try to vilify them, which is a stupid thing to do, you don't target fans. But the crazy thing about it is, James Gunn's fans, the Gunns, they're as vicious as ever, just like James Gunn is. So it wasn't surprising to me that he's going after fans and being petty instead of trying to make the best Superman movie possible. It's not surprising. And so, in so many different ways, I'm saying that when this Superman movie flops, and it will flop, that you must understand that it was never easy to make a Superman film. No matter what James Gunn says, no matter what certain so-called DC fans say, most DC fans are insulted by this. And surprise, surprise, The one DC fan I didn't expect to be, I thought he would gobble this stuff up with both his hands and his teeth. Is I forgot what his name is. You know. And the point I'm making is Superman's never been an easy character to pull off. The fact that James Gunn has no real proper knowledge of Superman tells me so much about the guy. And he totally disrespects Superman. He doesn't even know what Superman's middle name is. He didn't know it was Joseph. Of course, Joseph Clark, Joseph Kent. Joseph Kent. Joseph is the name of the creator of Superman. Joseph Schuster. Joseph Schuster, or Joe Schuster, is one of the creators of Superman. And I don't know if it's Siegel who decided, hey, let's give this middle name in tribute to Schuster. I don't know. But it is definitely a tribute to Schuster in making Superman. So I think that's very good. Very awesome. Hold on one second. I'm being interrupted by a phone call, which is just not cool at all. There you go. I had to mute the stream. The point I'm making is Snyder fans aren't going away anytime soon. Restore the Snyderverse is not going away anytime soon, regardless of what happens. The only thing that will happen is it will intensify. The need for proper DC content, respect of the characters. You know, they said Superman, I remember them saying that Zack Snyder hates Superman. I remember them saying that Zack Snyder disrespected Superman. I remember them saying a whole bunch of shit about Zack Snyder and Superman. But these motherfuckers can't even get a director to produce something better than Zack Snyder has done. When Man of Steel is stomping all over your fucking movie can't even make the kind of ticket sales and box office that Man of Steel did. We're not even talking about for inflation. Man of Steel like totally stomps the shit out of this Superman movie. They made almost twice the amount of ticket sales that this Superman movie has made. I mean, it's like night and day. And we realize, therefore, that twice as many people were interested in Man of Steel, and which is why people went back and watched Man of Steel on HBO Max, than the people, and then these stupid shills on social media will say, well, this movie was made for families. It's not a family movie. Bitch. Shit ain't family-friendly things. And then to see Supergirl drunk, that's a model for people to hear that the Kryptonian parents of Superman wanted him to oppress mankind and conquer them and destroy anybody who resisted him and then fuck all their women? Is that for children to see? Is that the model you want? See, you gotta ask yourself these questions. James Gunn, Superman, is the worst Superman iteration of Superman. It comes right behind Superman 4 and the Quest for Peace with Atomic Man. In fact, elements of Superman are borrowed from Atomic Man. Lex Luthor makes Atomic Man out of the hairs of Superman. Lex Luthor makes the clone of Superman, Ultraman, out of the hairs of Superman. I mean, it's just retarded how much James Gunn likes borrowing from flops. So Kevin Feige came out and Kevin Feige threw jabs at James Gunn's Superman movie, saying, you know, this movie was great, just drop this in the middle of the action. No backstory, nothing. Just drop this in there. Kevin Feige basically saying, this is shit. But he's saying it in a nice way. And Fantastic Four is coming out, and we'll see how they handle the material. I'm not going to go see it though. I'm sorry, I'm not paying to go see none of those movies. I don't go see movies that I think ain't my thing. I'm not just going to go see a movie because I got nothing else to do. I gotta go see. No. I don't have to worry about Superman because I didn't see it. But I could have told you since the first trailer that this is not a movie I want to go see. Just like the Suicide Squad. I knew the Suicide Squad was a movie I just didn't want to see. It was a waste of my time. I still won't go see Superman. I don't ever want to see Superman. I'm real one. I never wanted to see Aquaman. I just didn't go see Aquaman. I never wanted to see Aquaman 2. I just never wanted to go see Aquaman 2. I want to see Joker. I did not go see Joker Part 2. Why? Because it did not interest me. When people are not interested in a movie, you could say how good the movie is or whatever. If they're not interested, you're not going to get no box office. See, that's the thing. People like to talk about it's a good movie. It's a great movie. Well, if it's a great movie, people will be interested in it. But if it doesn't hit the zeitgeist, if people are not interested in it, then guess what? It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. So not only do you need to have a good movie, you need to have a relevant movie. A movie that's relevant to people that they want to go see because this thing has something there they've never seen before and I want to look more into it. I got interested. You know what got me wanting to see Smurfs? When the guy was going, he was wee, and then he told him stop, and he reversed. It was funny. And I thought, hey, that's interesting. Let me go watch this movie. But then it turned out to be a crock of shit. But that's all right. There were certain elements in it that were good, but for the most part, Smurf was crap, right? My point anyway is this, that advertising is there to kind of get your interest into something. And Warner Brothers, for the life of me, never understands their audience. Who comes to see DC movies? There are two very important things Warner Brothers needs to learn. What you as a studio like doesn't mean everyone likes. And particularly you as a studio. Because you constantly, time and time again, keep on pushing for films to come out so you can sell toys, and you can sell merchandise. And it always backfires in your face every single time you think you have it. And again, you're going to get, it's the same thing's going to happen with this movie. You're going to get it backfire in your face again because time and time again, you don't care about the movie, you don't care about your audience, you don't care about what your audience is telling you. Well, you'll begin to realize it when DC audience, I don't care if you sell it, I don't care if you sell out to Disney or wherever, the DC audience is going to turn on you. Because they have told you what they wanted. And the most important, the reason why Deadpool is such a success is because Deadpool listens to their audience. The Rock pretends like he listens to the audience. But he didn't listen to the audience. But a director who listens to the audience, the DC audience, not some of the DC audience, not part of the DC, the entire thing. That director is always going to get it right. That's what Zack Snyder was able to do. He was able to create on the screen things that we grew up watching on animated series, on animated movies. He brought it to life in a real way. And this one-dimensional, one-tone, must be smiling Superman, must be bright and gay, must save people, that kind of shit is crap. Because Superman always saves people. He's always doing world-ending events. He's always helping out people. So that's beyond the point. If you've got to be so petty that he has to save squirrels and he has to save this and that, a child, a cat up in a tree. If you have to go there, not to understand that Superman, he helps people and he saves people. If you can't get that, If for some reason Man of Steel was too deep for you, that you couldn't see he was helping the waitress, that you can't see that he was helping the people in the oil rig, that you can't see that he saved the kids in the bus, that you can't see he can't help himself but help people. That's what Louis Stein said, and not only that, we saw evidence of it. Throughout the movie, he's helping people. He sees a soldier falling out of a helicopter to his death and saves his life. Ask him if he's okay after. If you can't see that this Superman is the best Superman, is the healthiest Superman, then you are fucking retarded. You're a fucking retard. And since I don't believe that a lot of people, grown-ass people, are fucking retards, then I know that you're deliberately misrepresenting what Man of Steel was, what BVS was, and now what Zack Snyder's Justice League was. You're telling me that you deliberately decided to create a narrative and stick with it. Because we know you ain't that stupid. The fact that James Gunn doesn't even know Superman's middle name shows me how much he does not know about the character. So when I hear people say he's comic book accurate, in what sort of way? The Superman and the outfit of the Superman is not comic book accurate. Show me the Superman in what comic that has that suit on. Doesn't. There's no Superman like that. Show me that in the comics, the classic comics, Jor-El is telling Superman to conquer Earth, kill anybody who opposes you, and have sex with all those women. Show me where. Show me the comic. Give me this comic on the issue. There's no comic on issue like that. There is evil Jor-El, but there's no comic on issue like that. That's James Gunn with his lewd ass self putting this shit into a Superman story. A man who knows nothing about fucking Superman. Nothing. People want to say, oh, this is a fresh take on Superman. No, it's Gunn's take on Superman. He ain't fresh. Nothing about it's fresh. It's Gunn with his comedic self making fun of Superman and putting it in a movie. Might as well call it Superman the Naked Gun 2.5. I mean, come on, man. It's a parody. So that's my cover on Restore the Snyderverse. I know I haven't said anything about Free Palestine for a minute, but don't worry, I'll come with that soon enough. So I'm just showing you the power that you have. Now, that's Snyder fans. Now, there are also DC fans who are not Snyder fans or anything. They may like Snyder's movie, but they're not Snyder fans. They make up at least 200 million more. And they turned against James Gunn's Superman movie. So that's $200 million more dollars. So if you were to put the Snyder fans, you put the DC fans together, you're looking at almost $1 billion. You're looking at $900 million there. Leroy Kong is not a Snyder fan. He's a DC fan. Reads the DC comics and stuff. All right? I don't want to go onto YouTube and show you all of this, but I thought I'd say that because it's just really retarded. James Gunn says Superman isn't a well-known commodity in some regions. Fails to explain why he spent $500 million launching the entire universe around him. I don't know about $500 million he used. I know that this cost $363 million, but Warner Bros. Is in denial about that. And if you crunch the numbers correctly, that's like $814 million to $908 million to break even. That's crazy numbers. So Superman has its job cut out for it, and I just don't see it making anything near that. I don't think it's going to even surpass Man of Steel numbers. I don't think it's even going to get near to Man of Steel numbers. And that's Man of Steel numbers I'm talking about without inflation. We know Man of Steel right now with inflation would have cost would have been about $900 and something million, right? Fantastic Four has officially surpassed Superman in China pre-sales, The Marvel Studios movie is expected to outgross the DCU starter domestically this week too. So it's expected to top Superman, and it's going to be the highest money maker for this weekend. So Fantastic Four, it's already doing really well in China. China has not really supported this Superman movie, and it's because the Chinese are like, none of this really this generic bullshit. None of this is really getting the Chinese interested in Superman, and I think the run of Superman there is already ended. So Man of Steel had a staggered sort of rollout in different countries of the world. This is all at once. So this movie, I think it's blown its load, and it's about to get blown away by Fantastic Four. And in its run, probably by the fourth week, its run is over already. So we're going into the third, and then it's the fourth. Jurassic World Rebirth, I think it's dying down as well. So Jurassic Rebirth might get to 700 million. It doesn't look like it's going to make $1 billion. So we'll see. I don't know. But it's clear to me that these people are doing a lot of spin to try and get their movie to go as far as possible. And they're saying a lot of things, but it really isn't helping the situation. I remember them trying to get Birds of Prey to break even. I remember that. And they still fell short. So Fantastic Four, looks like it's going to do very well. And at least the Snyder Cut says, but we were told there's anti-American sentiment. Exactly, my friend. Exactly. I'll catch you guys later. I am Christ, I am disciple. Peace.